Good morning, good morning, good morning. Assalamu alaikum to you all. Inshallah that you're well this beautiful Sunday. I hope that you're having a great morning so far. The sun is shining here in sunny London. How's the weather where you guys are? Who do we have on? We have Sean, Fahra, and Sister Selena so far. Inshallah we'll get a few more joining. How's everybody this morning? Give us a thumbs up if you're engaged. You can hear me okay? Okay, we're expecting about 22 people who have registered for today. Alaikum salam, Sean. So hopefully we'll get some other people joining throughout. And if not, unfortunately, the recording that we're doing will not be made available. So hopefully they're coming through now. So that's great. That's great. Right, let's kick off. Today is all about taking action. Now, this is one of the most vital points that we need to remember when we want to make tangible changes to our lives. This is one of the things that I come across a lot where people have this desire. They want to do something with their life. They want to maybe improve their relationships. They want to get better decisions in terms of their careers or even just in their day-to-day lives. They want to lose weight. They want to try to push into another area, start a business. The one thing that holds most people back from being an underachiever to a high performer is taking action. So that's why I wanted to dedicate this hour and put together this free webinar to tell you the art of taking action, even when you're scared. Let's dive in to decide and do. Okay, wonderful. Hopefully you can just hear me. Right, I'm gonna share my screen, inshallah, and we will go through this presentation and I'll keep cutting in and out. So be fully engaged, be fully switched on, make sure you're nice and hydrated, because this is going to be a roller coaster. I'm going to share some phenomenal insights. So first and foremost, very welcome to you guys on this amazing Sunday morning. Who am I? Well, I'm Nasser. Most of you know me. Most of you engage with me on my either social media platforms, or maybe you are one of those wonderful people that has sessions with me or is a part of one of my online programs or has even come to one of my conferences. My engagement is with to people, and my skill set is a life coach. That's where I help people to take people to where they need to be and want to be in their lives. I mentor a lot of young people because I think that is one of the core areas that is highly important that we try to focus on is our youth. And also, as many of you know, I'm a motivational speaker. Alhamdulillah, I have the opportunity to travel the world and be able to speak on stages and impart some wisdom. So that's just a small introduction of me and who I am and the reasons why I do it. Hopefully you guys know already. So today is all about deciding and doing something different with your life, becoming the person that you've always wanted to be. This session is about turning indecisions into momentum. And that's so important. So important. Because here's the truth, my dear friends. The truth is that you don't need more time. You do not need more time. You just need more clarity and you need more courage. More courage to make those boldest steps that you've ever made to become that fulfilled person that you want to become. Now, through today's presentation, we're going to be going through a mindset shift, some practical framework. And as I mentioned, there's a free gift coming up where I'm going to be giving you this incredible 7-day plan for you to start to take action in your life. And then as we conclude, there'll be some offers that we're going to present to you, but also there's going to be some work. So please do take notes. I cannot stress this enough. Take notes throughout today's presentation. And if you're unsure of anything, whack it in the chat. You can DM me. You all have my number and you can all engage with me on my WhatsApp. No problem at all. Cool. Let's dive in. So, my friends, why do we struggle? Why do we struggle so much in making decisions? In my experience of uplifting people, working with people from top CEOs to people that are homeless, people that have gone through struggles, even working with people in prisons around the world. So this is just not one community, one ethnicity, one religion, one faith group. This is the majority of people. Now I've panned this into 3 different areas. These are the main things that I would call action killers. And some of them are going to resonate with you. And if they do, make note of them because it's really important. Number 1 is this fear of failure. A lot of us are pre-programmed to have this fear of moving into a new direction, trying something new, because we are scared of failing. We're scared of committing. Within that failure, there's the fear of judgment, the fear of making mistakes. That's why one of the highest things, if you actually put this into a search engine, one of the highest fears in this world is the fear of public speaking. The fear of standing up in front of somebody else and being judged. Even higher than death, which is absolutely mind-blowing when we really think about it. So fear of failure is the number 1 thing that kills that action. And if that's you, if you fear failing, if you fear, that stop, we're going to do a mindset shift around this so you can understand exactly what I mean when it comes to fear and how you can really change that and turn it around on its head. Because failure is the thing that's stopping you. But I'll be honest with you, 100% honest with you, and those that know me, I can only give you the truth. What you are desiring, the life that you want to live, lives on the other side of failure. It lives on the opposite side of failure, the opposite side of that fear. When you go through failure, there is a mindset shift when you look at failure in a positive way, not a negative way. Because my dear friend, if you're failing, that means you're trying. If you're not pushing yourself and living in your zone of comfort, sitting on your sofa, doing the same thing over and over again because it's comfortable, then there's no growth within that. Very minimal growth. You might try something small, like a new dish, or you might try to watch a new show or something that is so slightly different. But that fear of moving and changing is where growth really happens. Now, the second area that I want us to look at is overthinking. A lot of people live up here in their heads. They overthink. When you live in your head and you're constantly thinking negative thoughts and you're constantly questioning yourself and you mix that up with that fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes, what you're going to look like in front of other people, and you've got an overthinking mind, you really want to get to a point in your head where if you're going to live up here like most people do, please make it a beautiful place. Make it a place where there is some positive energy, some positive output. I would probably go to a point of saying around 85 to 90% of people that I come across overthink. They overthink before action. Now, it's good to analyze, it's good to weigh up the odds, to look at your risk management, to look at certain areas and think, shall I move forward with this? But if it's staying in your mind and you're going over and over and over and over again, you're not going to get the results that you want. And that's just the reality, the truth of life. So if you're going to live in your head, if you're going to be that overthinker like most people are, make it a beautiful place. Make it a place where things can grow and you can really achieve incredible stuff. When you're living in your head, quite easily this happens. Procrastination. What is procrastination? I'm sure you guys all know that word. Majority of people do. It's very popularized these days, but what is procrastination? Not making that decision, not moving forward, not pushing yourself, procrastinating about every single decision that you're making in your life, from whether you should go for that new job, whether you should have that difficult conversation, whether you should push yourself and go and learn a new hobby, a new sport. You procrastinate about everything. That's that judgment within yourself, and you start to tell yourself those things that we all know these things that are living in our head. What if I fail? What if I get judged? What if it's difficult? What if it's too hard? And then you start to have these negative affirmations, these words that come in your head. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. So let's be honest. Again, this is all about honesty. Most of us know what we want deep down. When I speak to people, maybe we have one-to-one sessions, maybe I do workshops or seminars. When I speak to people directly, have these conversations, we generally know what we want as a goal. We want to understand. If you're past that teenage area where no one really understands what they want to do in life, but as an adult, we know what we want to do. But we don't move. We don't push ourselves. We don't step out because we're scared. There's that fear coming in again. We're scared of failing. We're scared of others judging us. Does that sound like you? We're scared of doing things wrong. If it sounds familiar to you, put a thumbs up on the screen. I'd love to see your interactions on this, because it's really important to understand you are not alone. You are not alone in this. We all suffer from this. Thank you so much. Fear hides behind this word that I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to make that change. Now, I lived in a state of fear. I lived in a massive state of fear. I was abused physically and emotionally by my father as a child. And as I grew up, I was so unconfident. There were times in my life I would bite my nails till they bled for that state of fear, just living in that area. Now, I used to put off certain decisions because I was always told I would never amount to anything and there would always be some sort of punishment. Now, had I lived within that state of fear, I don't know where I would be today. But what took me to step out of that area of fear, that area of unconfidence, not knowing where I fitted in, was the decision that I made. The decision that I made to change my life, to try something new, to push myself beyond where I was. That's how I honestly was able to do it. It was all about choice and decision. There's a great book, and his book recommendation number 1 is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's a wonderful book. If you're living in that state of fear, it talks about how you can mindset shift that word fear and make those decisions. The ones that you are avoiding, that is costing you time. It's costing you energy. And it's costing you those missed opportunities. So let's be honest. There is no imperfection. There's perfection within imperfection. Think about it. So guys, we don't lack motivation. I want you to understand this one thing. Motivation sometimes is really high and sometimes really low. We don't lack motivation. What we lack is clarity, we lack courage, and we lack the simple methods to decide. A client that I worked with recently, his name's Patrick. He likes me to tell people his story. He was an incredible guy. He used to overanalyze everything. He was a serious procrastinator and overthinker. He had some phenomenal ideas, but he lacked execution. This was his problem. So for many years, and I'm talking 23 years working in the same environment, staying within his zone of comfort for the money, but he hated his job. He hated his role. He feared making the change because he lived in that zone of comfort. 23 years of his life spent in a job that he hated. That was a crazy, absolutely crazy place to be. He feared regret more than he regretted not doing anything. And the mindset shift there was to actually look at regret and say, you know what, learn from it. Because you can't change the past, but you can change your future by doing this one thing, understanding what you can do in this present moment. And when we worked with Patrick, and I worked with him for a program that I have and in a one-to-one basis, that was the moment that changed. When he made the brave decision, and it's bravery, to say, right, It's time for me to step out of this comfort zone. It's time for me to make a change. And it was one small change where he got from being in this state of overthinking and procrastination and perfectionism and all of these areas where he's like, I can't do this anymore. And then he moved on. He made that bold step. He went for interviews and totally changed his life. We'll talk more about Patrick as we move through today's work. I want to share with you the 3-part formula because, as I said to you today, this is not just about me spieling on. It's not a motivational talk. This is a webinar. This is something where I want to give you wisdom. This 3-part formula works phenomenally well. I call it the 3 H's. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what the 3 H's are. The first H is head. You've got to get clear in what it is that you want to do. That's in your head. Okay, think about that. We're going to go into each one into more detail so you understand this. The second one, my dear friend, is heart. You have to align your decisions with your deeper values. See, when you align values and beliefs towards your purpose, that's how you align the heart. And then the third one, the third H, is hands. This is actually utilizing your hands to take simple, bold actions. And you're going to learn to do this in 7 days because this freebie that I'm going to give away is a 7-day action plan. Because it's what you desire. What you want in your life is not years away. It's not decades away. It's not even months away. It's closer than you think. It's that bold decision, that bold choice that you will make, just like Patrick made, to step into the person that you want to be, to make those changes that you've always desired in your life. But you're the one that has to do it. No one else can do it for you. Now I want to go deep into these 3 areas, the 3 H's. First and foremost, it's all about head, right? We need to have clarity. Clarity before commitment. It's so important to understand that. Once we have clarity of where we are and what we want to do, we can ask ourselves certain things. So on your pads now, I want you to write down 3 questions. 3 questions when you talk about head to get clarity to commit. The first question that I want you to ask yourself is, what do I really want? What do I want? What is it really that I want deep down? Like any of the questions that I give you, any frameworks that I give you, you can't do this in like 5 minutes. What I always encourage the people that I work with to do is take a bit of time to contemplate and reflect, to think deeply. Have that nice cup of tea, maybe some nice biscuits, sit on the floor in that comfortable space, in that beanbag in the corner of the room with the sun blaring down, do some thinking and ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I want out of this life? If we're lucky, we get 60, 70, 80, 90 years. It will go like this. What do I want to achieve out of my life? What do I want to do? The second question to ask yourself is, if fear wasn't present, it weren't present at all, what would I choose? So if I had no fear, no fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes, perfectionism, what would I choose to do? If it's money that's holding you back, you might say to yourself, what if I had 3 million? What would I be able to do? If it's poor relationships, what if I had that difficult conversation? You know, moving beyond that fear state, thinking about the repercussions before you actually take action, because our brain will then create 1,000 scenarios which are never true. And the third question I'd like you to write down is, what's the cost to me, to yourself, by not deciding? What's the cost to me if I carry on doing the same things over and over again? What will happen? You know, logically, be logical about this. Don't be emotional, be logical. Give this the thought. You see, this is all about silencing the noise in your mind, and thinking from that logical brain, asking yourself honest and direct questions, because you're the only one that can do this work. You've got to do this work. You've got to put that work in if you want to make these changes. And that's the reason why you've turned up today. That's the reason why you're here today. So don't overcomplicate it. Take action. Ask yourself those 3 poignant questions, and they work so well. Clarity doesn't come from thinking more, from doing more thinking. It comes from asking yourself those better questions. Those questions that will really lead to better results. You've got to be truthful with yourself. That's the best way to do this. You've got to be truthful and honest with yourself. So write down maybe that one thing that you have been putting off for so long. That one area of your life that you have just been saying, you know what, let's not worry about it. It's fine. Let's carry on with the way I've been. Live in this state that I've always been. That one thing that you've been putting off. And then answer it. If I wasn't afraid, what would I do? If there wasn't fear existing, what would I do? What could I become? Think about the cost implementations. If you didn't do anything at all, how many more years are you going to carry on living the way that you've lived? How many more years are you going to get to that point where you may turn around and regret? There's an interesting study by Harvard University. I'm going to share this with you just for a moment, where they went and interviewed all of these people, elderly people that are in hospitals, and they were literally about to die. They were literally about to leave this world. And unanimously, we're talking high 90s, they asked them this one question: what's the one thing in your life, if you could go back, that you would change? One thing. And they said, basically taking action, doing things that I kept putting off, because they're at that stage in their lives where they regretted. And that's a horrible place to be, living in regret. So just consider that with yourself. Let's move into the heart, because this is something that really we don't value enough. This is valuing having our values over our emotions, rather than live in that state where we are scared. Doing something really to focus on alignment of self. So let's look at this again on your pad. Please write these 2 questions down when you want to look at valuing your emotion, your values, your belief systems, your purpose over your emotions, your fear, your state where you're at. The first one you can ask yourself is this decision in line with who I want to be? Is this decision in line with who I want to be? Because sometimes if we don't put the difficult work in, we make decisions that are very surface level, and they don't really lead to the results that you want. You'll start something, and maybe this happens at the beginning of the year because we set these New Year resolutions. They're very wet. We might want to go to the gym, and then we'll go to the gym for like 3 weeks, 21 days is the average. We'll make that change in our New Year's resolution goal, and we don't really continue. And the winner is the gym, basically, because you end up paying your gym membership for a whole year and never go. Just an example there. So you've got to understand the decision that you need to make. Is it in line with the person that you want to be? This is a heart thing. This is something that you utilize the emotional brain. You go deep within yourself and you ask yourself this deeper question. The second question you align with your heart is, will I respect myself more if I take that step? See, the key word, the emotional word is there, respect. Will I respect myself? Maybe we're in a situation in our lives where we don't quite respect it. Sean, I don't have a link to the Harvard study, but it's on their website. So you can go to Harvard website and then you'll be able to find all of their work there. And it's something that if you want to learn more about psychology, you want to learn more about the studies there, these guys are doing the hard work. We read it and then we tell this information to you guys so you can benefit from it. So guys, when your heart is in it, when you're fully there, fear still shows up. I'm going to be honest with you, it still shows up. I stand on stages with 5,000, 10,000 people. There's always fear there. But it doesn't lead me. It doesn't stop me. I see fear in a different way. I look at fear rather than forget everything and run, FEAR. I look at it that I face everything, and I rise from it. The same letters, FEAR. I know that fear that's coming through, could it be nerves? And if it's nerves, it could be excitement as well, because the body cannot tell the difference between nerves and excitement. It releases the same neurons, the same chemicals in the body. So then you look at fear, but I don't let it lead me. Let's move on a little bit to Patrick's story, because we're going to focus on Patrick a little bit today. Patrick feared moving forward, as we just said, and this is how he moved forward. He learned that he was led by fear for many years, 23 years, I told you. But what he did, he just became more aligned. So we did this work, this same framework that I'm teaching you today. We did this with Patrick. We did this with many clients. So once he was connected to the decision of his value for growth that he wanted to do, what the growth journey that he wanted to get to, which is the heart decision, he was connected with it because he asked himself those questions. And quite interestingly, when we said, will I respect myself? When I said that to Patrick, honestly, as a man, I'm just being honest with you, we should show our emotions more. He started to cry because he wasn't respecting his health, his life, the place that he was in. So he started to value his growth. And then after that, he left that job that was draining him for so many years. And how he did it is he did it gradually. He started a little side hustle, the ideas that he had, that he wanted to do. This started to create momentum after 3 weeks, just 3 weeks, it started to grow. And then after 3 months, he started to get to a point where he was earning more from his side hustle than he was from his job. And he quit his job and he moved into the being a business owner, being an entrepreneur. So the fear stayed with him. Honestly, it stayed with him. If you do any of my online courses, you'll come to understand that fear is always there. It's always there. But the difference between that is allowing it. Do you allow it to control you, or do you control it? But we utilize the fear as momentum to push forward. This is what Patrick did. We talk a lot about Patrick's story in some of our presentations where we have our online courses. Now let's move into the action steps, which is the hands. We have to utilize our hands. This is creating what I call micro commitments, because it's all about small changes. I'm not into making rapid, massive decisions and massive changes all at once. You make small changes. And this is what I'm going to ask you right now. Again, is to write down these 2 phenomenal, outstanding questions, which will really change your mindset and start to get to a point where you micro commit. The first one is, what's one small step that I can take in the next 7 days? What's one small thing? When I say small, I mean atomic. This is book recommendation number 2. Read Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a phenomenal book, one of my favorite books. Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks about making micro steps. Atomic, the smallest habit changes, the smallest things. So ask yourself that question. What's the one thing that I'm going to commit to in the next 7 days, which will allow me to start this process, to make that change? And then the second question is, who is going to hold me accountable? Who? Because this is powerful. When you tell a friend, when you tell a spouse, when you tell a loved one, a peer, when you tell your coach, your mentor, exactly what it is that you're going to do and what going to achieve, and I'm going to do this within this time frame, you then give that responsibility to that person to check in on you, because they become your accountable partner. And when you know somebody is there pushing you, behind you, and they're going to come back to you in 7 days and say, hey, bro, did you do it? Sis, did you make that change? Did you have that difficult conversation? Did you ask something for your boss? Did you start that business? Did you go for that walk? then you're held account to it. So you're more likely to do it. Powerful tool. Hands again. It's time to move. Stop being still. Stop being static. Don't wait for confidence. Build it through momentum. Okay? Remember, motivation will come and go. Some days you wake up, some days I wake up and feel very unmotivated. But I understand discipline is the key by making those small steps every single day, by building momentum. Because over time, when you push that boulder, the boulder will slowly start to move by itself. What is more uncomfortable? Staying where you are or pushing yourself to where you want to be? The simple answer is action. The action that you can take right now. So consider that. Now, what I want to do at this juncture, let me just stop this for us. I'm going to open up the chat and I want to give you a gift. If you don't mind, we all like a little freebie. So this, my dear friends, is a 7-day accountability. Let me just find the chat. Where are we? There we go. Here's the link. I'm going to post it to you. There you go, my dear friends. It's my free gift to you. What this is a 7-day guide, okay? This is for you. This is free of charge. You can go on there. Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. This is something that I work with many people, so many people. And it's part of one of my courses, and I wanted to gift that to you today. Now, let me explain to you what it is. It's a 7-day action plan, a commitment plan that you can make towards yourself. You go through the steps. It's a framework that you can use. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to overthink about it. Download it. Go through the steps. There's questions on there. This is small actions that you can take every single day to work on yourself, to create and be the person that you want to be, to become the person that you've always desired to be. And you don't have to do the hard work because I've done it for you. I told you there'd be a nice free gift. My wife thinks I'm crazy by giving away these freebies, but you know what? I love helping people. And again, that aligns to my purpose and my goal. Sean, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. I hope that you find it useful, and you've all got you're welcome, Farah. You've all got my personal number. So when you received your messages on WhatsApp, that's my personal number. So please feel free to message me if you have any questions at all, because I'm here to help you in whatever capacity I can. Right, let's continue. Where was the slide? There we go. Trying to do all these different things. There we go. Excellent. We're back on track. So utilize that in the best possible way. What you're going to find, and this is really important, that once you start, and this is all about momentum, let's just focus on that right now. If you start asking yourself those poignant questions, you start to consider those 3 H's, okay? Head, what's up here? Ask yourself, what do I want to be? What do I want to become? What if fear didn't exist? Talk about the heart. Start to align your values, align your principles towards your purpose. That then creates clarity for yourself. And then the hands is the movement, right? The hands is the action steps, because you have to use the hands within it to keep on pushing forward. And once you start that momentum, this thing happens, the ripple effect. It's the ripple effect of action. When we come to the point where we know where we want to be and we know where we want to get to, we understand that action creates the clarity. Because you begin the steps, you begin moving forward, you begin pushing. You're welcome, Imran. You're very welcome. You're welcome, Sean, as well. Sayed, you're welcome. Tanwa and Tessin, you're very welcome. Honestly, sorry I keep interrupting because it's me on my own here doing 1,000 screens. So once you start that ripple effect, that one brick that you throw into that river, that one small pebble, there's one small change, that action step that you take, the ripple effects of that, honestly, they can cause waves, they can cause tsunamis. That's how easy it is. And that's what Patrick did. He took a small step, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about those small steps, those small momentous things that he did. Clarity then comes along, and then it creates this wonderful thing called momentum. Okay, so you become more clear in your mind. You understand the direction of travel that you want to get to. You have more purpose. You understand that this is what I want to try to achieve. And then momentum starts to build. It starts to push forward. So imagine this in your mind. This big boulder that's in front of you. Okay, it's massive and it's so difficult to move. This boulder is fear. It's overthinking. It's perfectionism. It's the fear of being judged. It's the comfort zone. And for many years, you haven't even tried to push this, because maybe 20, 30 years ago, you tried to push it. 20, 30 years ago, you tried to get yourself past this particular level. You did that one push and it stopped you and you never went back to it. So imagine today, you give it that one tug, that one push with all of your strength. You understand what direction it's going to go in. You push it, it starts to move very slowly. And then tomorrow you do the same thing. And the next day you do the same thing. And the next day and the next day and the next day. You start to become clear about your ability to create this momentum. And then what happens ultimately, this boulder starts to move, and then it's pushing forward, forward, forward. And that momentum then starts to create those results, because you're pushing past your fears, your perfectionism, your judgment, your overthinking, your procrastination, the place that you've lived all of your life. Just by that one push, that momentum then spurs into other areas. Honestly, this ripple effect happens so profoundly with Patrick again, because as a side effect of Patrick moving away from his business, he then started to build confidence. He then started to speak to others. He's then started to mentor others. I worked with a young man called Ali. Ali scaled his business, right? He was working on a business which is started really small, really small. And then what happened after that? He built it by stepping out of his comfort zone, by doing something different and adding different things to his business. And then he started to scale. There was another gentleman I worked with called Mohammed, who was in a middle manager role for many years and always wanted to be more of a leader, but he was a manager. He hated doing meetings because he had the fear of public speaking, the fear of opening his mouth, because he had the fear of being judged and the fear of making a mistake. But he had some incredible ideas. The guy worked in tech industry. He was so knowledgeable, it was unreal. But the fear is what stopped him, and he started to speak. He made that one conversation. He started by speaking to a trusted friend. He started then increasing his groups. Before you know it, he started in small meetings, then larger meetings. And then his peers started to understand that Mohammed has incredible value to give. Now, when they want to make a decision, a strategic maneuver, when they want to implement a new change, who do they come to? They come to Mohammed, a leader in his organization. My dear friends, by doing this teaches us that what you thought could never happen is potentially there for you. You are more capable than you ever can see. Nelson Mandela says, it's never impossible until it's done. Impossible lives in your head. In fact, the word impossible, let's break that word down and take the I am and separate the possible, because that means I'm possible. You are possible. And that is through doing, taking the action, going that bit deeper, teaching yourself those different habits by trying, by making that bold decision, by taking that step. And you are the only one that can do this. Nobody can do this for you. But if you want results, get an accountable partner. Speak to a friend, a loved one, a colleague, a peer, someone as trusted, a mentor, a coach, whoever you have in your life, and tell them, this is what I'm going to achieve in the next 7 days. And you will start to see the results. Because you live in that fear mindset, you'll start to fear that that accountable partner is going to turn around to you and say, why didn't you do it? And that's a better place than living in regret. Much better place than living in regret. So think about and consider some of the things that you can do. Think about the H's within your life. Let me just stop this. Think about the changes that you can make. The things that you can push yourself into. We have a question that's going to come in. I'm going to come into the questions. I'm going to leave about 5 minutes at the end and I'll answer everybody's questions. So if you do have questions, put them in the chat. But this one decision that you make, my dearest friends, the one bold move that you make can have phenomenal outcomes. Don't allow fear to hold you back. Utilize this framework. Commit towards yourself. You matter. You matter. The life that you've lived up to now, and I don't profess to even know your ages, and I don't want to know your ages. You know them. How many years have you been living in this cycle of fear? How many years have you feared being judged, feared me and making mistakes? The question today is, are you going to decide and are you going to do? This is why you came here on this Sunday morning. This is why you turned up. The 22 people that registered, there's not 22 people, there's 8 people that are live here. And I've already told you, and I warned everybody, this is not going to be recorded. This is free. I'm not charging you a single penny for this. This is complete value. And I have worked with hundreds of clients with this framework. And I've given you something free today, which I give towards other people, which are phenomenal and they have amazing results. But I have to be honest with you. I can only be honest with you today. That one choice, that one decision lies with you. You. That's right. I'm pointing to you right now. You have to decide. You have to turn up because you're doing it for you, nobody else. If you're comfortable and if you're happy just living this life, this cycle that you've always lived in, no problem. Then you can end today's call and you can go on with your Sunday and enjoy the rest of your day. But if you are one of these people that has turned up today to find out that purpose, to make a change to your lives, then this is the moment that you can do it. You've got to make that brave move and you've got to put that work in. You've just got to ask yourself those harder questions, the questions that you've been avoiding for many, many years, the things that you have avoided for so long. Now let's continue with the presentation. Inshallah, let's have a look at what we can end today's call with, and then I'm going to move on to your questions. So if you've got questions, please feel free to put them into the chat. And I will come to them at the end, I promise you that. So, decide and do. Where are we at? You want to go further? You want to make a change? My dear friend, that choice is yours. You want to go beyond this webinar? You want to push yourself? One of the most effective ways is to find yourself an accountable partner, to take it deeper. Now, I'm offering you this free clarity call. You can come onto my website, you can message me, I'll send you a link. You can spend 20 minutes, half an hour with me. We can create clarity, we can push you into that next level. We can try to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Again, that's another free gift for yourselves. Please do follow me on my social media. Now, a lot of you have signed up for the webinar through my social media accounts at Nasser. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I post on there on a daily basis. Okay, my team, all I'm ever told is create new videos, do this, put this insight, give us some knowledge. I sit down with the team every week and they pick my brains for different ideas and they turn them into phenomenal posts because I'm there to educate and uplift and inspire people. So please do subscribe to YouTube, to Instagram, all of these things, not because I'm asking you for the likes, not because I want the subscribers, it's because I want to make people's lives that bit easier. I want to inspire people and motivate people to get to where they want to be. I have an online community. This online community is full of like-minded people, and you're welcome to join free of charge. Literally, we're getting to a point where we're starting a brand new community because the other one is oversubscribed right now. We create communities of like-minded people that support one another. And then sometimes we drop into these communities and we offer a free webinar like we're doing today, or we have a weekly group coaching session and we uplift people. And each community that I have, I'm a part of it. I have other peers that work in my profession that have inside knowledge. I have leadership coaches. I have all these kind of people that work in my team, and they are also within the communities as well. So again, if you want to join my communities, please do message me. You have my numbers. Please do message me. You can email me. You can email my team. These online communities are phenomenal. So take this bold decision and action today. Really make that change. You have this power within you. You do. I spoke to you a lot and I gave you a lot here, but don't let this end. Please don't let this end. Don't let it go into one ear and come out the other ear. I'd love to walk you further. I'd love to take you on a journey with me. And I'm offering you that free call with me. No problem at all. Again, there's another freebie. It just goes to show you that how much attachment I have to money. Like, money comes and money goes, but what lasts is how you're able to impart wisdom with people. I have a 3-session accelerator. There's an offer on right now. If you want to go even deeper, I have a 3-session accelerator course. No, it's a 1-to-1 with me. It's charged at £450, but the offer is £99 for 3 sessions. And then we move on to some of my programs like Elevate or my 90-day transformational program. So if you're serious about making changes, have a chat. Let's talk. Let's see how we can help each other. And I guess that leads me on to saying thank you. Thank you so much for turning up today. The best decision that you can ever make is the one that you act on. And I'm just being raw honest with you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for making a change to your life. Because this morning, on a Sunday morning where you could have stayed in bed, quite easily stayed in bed, you chose to show up. Your courage brought you here. Your decision brought you here. The question is, will you take it further? Just remember, choose boldly, act humbly, and repeat often. Keep on going, keep on growing. And I know that you can make phenomenal changes to your life.